Oh yeah, we saw a little bit of awkward in Contenders EU. Not as much as we'd like to though, but it's good to see him playing in Contenders NA, of course. Well, potentially Contenders NA, obviously, who are in trials. Did you roll out the gate? Onyx actually on the Widowmaker. Interesting pickup for this map. Not the greatest of sightlines, but we are seeing a Pharah coming through as well from King.
Yeah, King's projectile DPS was pretty impressive when we saw him yesterday. We did see King come out on a Genji, which was reasonably effective against an anti-dive composition from Skyfox. It looks like Triumph are going to figure out what they want to do here. Awkward's going to move over to the Moira, so they've got that higher healing potential. I'm going to pick up a hit scan, so we may see a similar attempt to what we saw on Well here, where you basically just try and kill the remainder of a team and leave the pharmacy alone.
It was going to be a bit hard as Onyx is just sniping your backline. Finds the kill onto Izzy as he received the damage boost as well. That's one dead frog, unfortunately. They are going to put themselves on the point. Peak is going to have to contest here, otherwise it will go over. Now it's all in favor of Matman and the gang. The problem right now is that phase 2 are going to have to actually force themselves onto this point in order to find something. Izzy is now back from the dead as well.
Awkward is answering any aggression coming in with the Coalescence. Is stuck inside, however, so can't use that to pressure out the Pharah or any aerial threats. Peak's just going to poke him at top there, give it a little bit of a showering of defense matrix.
Winston going down 2 to Faye. That is not good. 20% already been acquired. Emphasized have been popped as well by Onyx, so you can see where everybody is. But of course, we all know that they're already on the point. He used that rocket barrage from behind, takes out Awkward, but ends up killing himself as the splash damage was way too much for him to handle. He does get resurrected in the end, but continuing to hold a Triumph, who have almost got themselves a shatter and a grab.
Dropping the ball there, though. Triumph allowing for that resurrection to come through. Now a primal raging. Oh, that'll be exactly what he wants. Matman's gone.
Oh no! I was like, he's feeding, dude. Maybe he's just jumping in as Primal Rage and Winston just feeding a whole lot of ult charge. But no, he found the kill onto Matman. Onyx ends up just going for the reset. Faz as well. They don't want to waste any more time as they've already allowed Triumph to get 50% on the board, Harry.
A little bit of percentage gain for Triumph. They are looking to claim Lighthouse here on Ilios phase 2. Meanwhile, haven't really had anything come their way with this composition. We're going to swap up to the classic 3-3. Do have the advantage in terms of they have that Zenyatta to give the Discord Orb onto Matman's going to be very, very vulnerable.
Nice grab, finds 4 people. Anti-bomb comes in as well. Another self-destruct 2 from Pika. No self-destruct find anything, but Onyx finds the melee kill from the Xayah. Matman goes down, and so did Pitamitsu. Onyx actually finding himself a triple through in that engagement. Very high charge from absorbing all that damage from the Xayah, from the self-destruct even. Awkward will get smacked across the Joel and ends up going down. That'll be 92% though, have been acquired by Triumph. One more fight from them could end the game.
I said, oh no, but I think Awkward was just using the Coalescence so that he could swap over. But I want to praise Onyx, man, not just for fragging ability, but for his shield management. Actually managed to save Moopy when he was charged out of that Graviton and would have been disintegrated by Mystic and his self-destruct. But a well-timed shield mitigated all of the damage, the 1,000 damage that would have been applied to that Reinhardt.
Sneaky Faz there, booping Matman down. You received the particle barrier as well, but it ran out as soon as he hit the floor. Oh, that's not what you want to see.
And this actually completely wasted a rally as well, because Faye will have given that armor to people, but now remember, that rally armor does dissipate after 30 seconds, so that may well not be available for the next attack unless they hightail it over, and that'll be disappearing in the middle of the engagement anyway. Meanwhile, King will have a significant advantage of being able to wait to use the rally until the engagement from Triumph has come through, as the onus is on them to make the engagement. Good knockoff there from Pika.
To find the boop, yeah, knocks people off. But Faz waiting still off on the high ground, boops a couple of people in, but speed boost from Triumph just pushed them forward. Another Graviton surge as Pika almost baits it out there, and a shatter from behind actually nets 3 people on the ground. They were so focused on just stopping the Xayah from charging up, they didn't look at the Reinhardt already flanking them. 2 kills now for Moopy as the rest of phase 2 were able to clean the floor with Triumph.
Not a fan of the investment of the sound barrier and the earth shard of air. Triumph never only need to win 1 fight, so don't go for these piecemeal fights where you try to make it work with only 2 ultimates. You need to just bank your ultimates and wait for that perfect 6, 5, maybe 4 ultimate push where you can just have overwhelming force. They forced a couple of ults out of phase 2 as well, including all 3 of the tank ultimates. And now phase 2, they don't have the playmaking ultimates, but they do have the sustainability with the support ultimates to stay on the point, and that's exactly what they need while they're in control.
Pibimitsu have 15% towards that grab Harry. Mystic has that self-destruct and a Transcendence really early from Awkward. They're going to have to run in headfirst into Onyx, who's 50% away from getting his. Mupi finds the shatter and the pin onto Matman. He goes extremely low and ends up getting taken out. That rally didn't quite end up catching him. Mupi finding his like for like, and Fat doing the same thing. There will be a grab onto the point. It doesn't matter though. Diva gets demegged in the end. It was just the staggering members of Triumph to try and touch last. Orca gets chased down, and phase 2 find the flip.
Wonderful turnaround there from phase 2, going from 92% all the way up to 100 when it looked like they would be in dire straits. And Triumph there, it seemed like they didn't take advantage of their primary win condition, which was win one fight. You don't need to keep going for these, oh, maybe we'll win this fight, oh, maybe we'll win the next one, oh, maybe we'll win the next one instead, because you can just win one fight and win the entire stage. Just save those ultimates. Stop going for these piecemeal fights. We see this consistently with a lot of teams in NA trials. They won't take for more guaranteed fights because they want to have it sooner. You gotta, don't go for the instant gratification. Hold out. Be patient. It's your ally. Zenyatta says it. A warrior's greatest ally is patience.
I just want to hit the Q keys. It's lighting up at the bottom of the screen, Harry.
Oh, shiny, Jaws. It's shiny.
Hit the Q key. Hit the Q. No, no. It's one ultimate. Just please save them. They need to take lessons from an investment banker, clearly. Are we phase 2? Moving themselves to the point. Triumph do have the high ground and that mega pack at their disposal as well. Nishik ends up going down though, as Awkward does find him. So nice little pick using the high ground trajectory of those orbs. They say trajectory, they're just a straight line. There's no drop off on them at all.
Yeah, it's a pretty straight trajectory, should we say. Matman now going to be brawling out on the point with Mupi. No projected barriers available means Mupi is going straight down.
Ouch. All right, okay. Main tank down. Your Zenyatta dropped fairly early as well. Clean up time for Triumph. King has already got himself a rally though, so that's going to be pretty nice. But Faye is there to match him also. And in fact, a plethora of ults coming online for Triumph fairly soon.
Triumph, they're doing a good job of realizing when resources were used. They saw the projected barrier onto Mupi, and they knew that King had already used a repair pack, so there was no burst healing available. Only Faz really could have got the peel there potentially. And you can look at how much damage and healing Faz has done. He's actually the second highest ultimate on his team at 98%, but he's going to have to deal with a whole lot of incoming damage. Almost 6 ultimates available for Triumph. They can use them at their leisure.
What a shatter. 3 supports sent to the floor and sent to the shadow realm. King just going down. They're just going to chase him up. Only 1 ult was needed. Well, I guess plus the rally as well to get the additional armor. Still 4 ults in the bank as Pibimitsu is only 2% off his grab. But phase 2 doing a good job of saving their own for the time.
Did they go to the Shadow Realm or the Shadow Realm, Jaws?
Shadow Realm.
Ah, beautiful. Well, King was actually shattered there the second that he used Rally, which meant that that armor was not given to anyone else. Nishik's going to lose whatever was left behind for himself, and Triumph, well, they've lost their armor as well, so at least there's not the snowball advantage there, but they do have the ultimates ready to go.
Nice grab. Pika just dunks that self-destruct right on top and gets himself 2 kills. Transcendence healing doing nothing for your team now, Awkwards. Phase 2 are going to be able to turn around this point and reclaim it as Pika nets himself 3 kills in the entire engagement. And that will be a flip. Can they do the same thing they did on Lighthouse and get it to 100% now?
Perfect timing there from phase 2 to mitigate Pibimitsu's bubbles, which were going to protect everyone from that incoming damage of the self-destruct. Mupi managed to pin Matman into a wall, dispersing the bubble and giving the charge over to Pibimitsu, but not protecting him from the self-destruct. And they broke Pibimitsu's barrel with vanilla abilities.
Look at King! His positioning on top of the building just enabled them to get that shatter off. The Transcendence wasn't available for the side of phase 2 in that grab as the self-destruct was thrown in as well. They do end up losing King and Faz in the engagement too after a fantastic shatter. Perfect grab turnaround from Pibimitsu on Triumph in order to win that engagement. They're going to rush now to the point, killing off Onyx. Phase 2, just wondering what happened in that fight.
What was that trance, my dude? What was that trance? Awkward just earns him so quickly. He's like, I don't need to use this, but you're right. King there was being incredibly sneaky. A good counterattack from Triumph there. One of the main follies that occurred there was that Nishik actually went so deep to try and heal Mopi with the Transcendence that he actually stole Onyx's projected barrier that was supposed to go onto Mopi, and you get no value from that on an invincible Zenyatta. Should have been able to save for Reinhardt, but didn't.
There's the rally for King, and there's the rally for Faye as they move themselves onto the point. Mopi lays down that shatter, gets slammed, but they do not end up cancelling it out. They managed to get the pin kill onto Pipimitsu as well, so Xayah down for Triumph is going to net that Reinhardt in a bit of a sorry state. Matman's going to have to play a little bit more defensive here as he does get rounded upon by 4 people from Phase 2. OT is now ticking down as the rest of Triumph are cleaned up. Phase 2 now have 1 fight to lose, and they will lose the map.
We said this before, Jaws, but look at this. Triumph are basically being guided to their victory. They have almost all 5 of those crucial ultimates up. Only Faye does not have his close to being ready. Don't invest any of these before the others are ready. You need 1 decisive fight. You have 2 fights here. You only need to win 1 of them, and you can win it very well if you bait out Onyx's Graviton Surge and then use all 5 of your own ultimates.
Onyx has the grab though, and they still have that Transcendence as well on the side of Phase 2. They've got a couple of tools in order to negate this push from Triumph. All Triumph need to do, like you mentioned, is just poke them out here.
Maybe they'll be able to force out that Transcendence early. Matman's going to try and keep his shield alive, but has lost a huge amount of health there. Great fire strike from Mopi, brings him all the way up towards that shatter.
There's the grab, Transcendence from Awkward, and another Graviton Surge coming out from Phase 2 as well. The self-destruct in the air, Phase 3, Mystic with the triple kill. Pika just trying to run for his life. They need to be able to do something. He launches his up, self-destruct in desperation and ends up finding 1, but the rest of his team are already dead. They're on 90+%, but Triumph managed to find the recap. We're going to well, Harry.
Good body block onto King there from Mystic, making sure he couldn't trigger overtime again. And Matman understood that, yeah, it isn't great ult economy to try and shatter a Graviton Surge. It isn't good for you if you're going to need to continue to win fights after that, but you've got to invest everything and win for 1 fight. Triumph managed to understand that win condition this time. They put in an Earth Shatter where I'd usually call it a stupid decision in terms of ultimate economy, but it's a great decision when it wins you the 1 fight that you need to win.
Well, it's going to be the decider.
Well.
I wasn't even going to go there. I'm not going to lie to you, mate. Sorry. There was no way.
An apology accepted.
I'm not apologising.
You said sorry. I don't know what else you'd use sorry for.
Like, sorry and disappointment is what I meant it to be. Sorry to our viewers that had to listen to that.
Oh no. Oh no, that's a Orisa shield down the well. That ain't ideal right there. Moopy's going to have to wait a couple of seconds for that to come back up, and that does mean the Triumph are going to be able to claim all this space.
Oh! Pipimitsu claimed a lot of ground there as well as he got hooked into the small health pack room. Moopy and the gang are going to be able to rotate, so Phase 2 on the opposite side of the map now, as Triumph are going to do exactly the same thing.
And once again, they are going to be rotating behind that shield. Moopy now knows his shield's on cooldown. This could be opportunity for the dive. Matman's going to make it. Won't be halted out just yet.
Nice dive from Matman, yeah, just putting a lot of pressure on Moopy in the front line. Another one as well as Faye ends up getting taken out. First blood of the game going over to Phase 2. King narrowly getting a boot into the hole there, manages to save his life as well with the Rebreather. Faster's not being touched, by the way, and his damage boost in this McCree. Fan in the hammer, just destroying the tank and the front line. Pipimitsu goes down as well. King does end up killing himself somehow as Pika almost gets booted. Izzy gets flashbanged, and the point will actually be capped by Phase 2.
It was a victory dive from King. He's like, I can dive too, guys, and threw himself down the well. But Moopy here is getting so many healing resources. He basically has the permanence of Nishik's Harmony Orb. And whenever I see Faz going onto a healing beam, it's usually onto Moopy if he's not damage boosting Onyx, who can do a huge amount of damage with Fan the Hammer against these tanky targets when he's damage boosted, or even when he's not damage boosted. He does about 400, 500 damage with that when he's got the damage boost.
He's got Deadeye as well. There's the Coalescence, everybody in a perfect line to receive the max amount of damage and healing. Onyx using that Deadeye. He got the damage boost plus the supercharge. It takes out Pipimitsu before you can even blink. Faz goes down to Matman, however, used that Primal Rage as an engagement tool. King using that Whole Hog as well now to push everybody off the point as Phase 2 continue to hold.
Good bit there from Izzy, but it's not going to be enough. It's only one of the members of Phase 2 being taken down. And, well, he can't be rezzed, but everyone else can be. And that does mean that Phase 2 are going to remain in control here. Pipimitsu almost finally has that Graviton Surge. It's taken him forever to build up this Graviton Surge because Phase 2 are always just standing behind the barriers. And you've got to be able to break that down first before you can do any damage. And a lot of Triumph won't be focused on breaking that barrier because they can just move past it. Pipimitsu, until he walks through that barrier, can't get anything done.
Another big boy rotation coming through from Triumph. They go in for the dive once again. However, this time Faz is going to supplement all that damage dealing with a lot of healing as well as he activate the Valkyrie. A Graviton Surge eventually comes out, Harry, but look at that. Transcendence as well used on top. Beacon launches that self-destruct right in onto the back line, so the rest of Triumph have to actually scurry for cover. The Transcend self-destruct coming out from their side as well as the Beat also to supplement their healing. Problem is, they do manage to find the recap, but King and Onyx are just destroying the front line of Triumph. They may have found 10%, Harry, but the flip will go over to phase 2, and they're only 10% away from winning.
Impatience there from Triumph. Madman's going to try and make an engagement here, but oh, Moopy taken down as he tries to use his supercharger. That won't be available.
Yeah, hold the phone. Pipamitsu's going to take out Faz as well. King gets booped into the well. Maybe I spoke too soon. There may be a 99%, Harry, but Triumph come back with a vengeance. Managed to take out the entirety of the phase 2 front line and recap the point.
Well, Moopy, having lost that supercharger, is going to freely move over onto the Winston now. Might be able to supply that shield for Onyx needs to have the most safe of Deadeyes, and Onyx actually going to give up the Deadeye to move over onto his own Xayah. So they've actually basically butchered their own ultimate economy here, with the exception of the Diva and the 10 Yard to go over to a more favourable composition, knowing they only need to win one fight. And they know that Awkward and Izzy have both just used their support ultimates, won't be available for the coming fight.
Speaking of support ultimates, Faye's voice line gets cut a little bit short, but the rally is still going on. There is the Transcendence used fairly early by Mystic, and King jumps off the edge. All right, maybe he just slipped. I'm not entirely sure.
What is it with Brigidas and just feeding into environments today? Well, there's going to be a good Graviton Surge.
Ask my Selicu teammates why they feed all the time. I just do not know, Harry. Awkward is managed to kill off Nishik. Pipamitsu with a grab does net himself a few kills as well. Nice hold for Triumph, like you said. No ultimate economy for phase 2 means they can't really go too ham on that first push.
Yeah, they only need to win one fight, but they've only got maybe 2 left before they are going to give this over to Triumph, who of course capped at basically 99% to 0 and now are holding pretty strong. They do have a Transcendence and a Primal Rage ready to go, and Madman's been incredibly effective so far with these Primal Rages. He really understands how to get the best juggles out of that ultimate.
Big has the self-destruct. Mystic is looking for his 2. There's the beat from Izzy to push everybody forward and push everybody down that very tight corridor. There, Primal Rage used by Matman. Now he's going for the punish, but the beat is going to be used in kind to keep them alive. Double rally also for stacking armor onto the point as we near 99% to 99. A Graviton Surge mixed with that self-destruct gets completely blocked out by the bubble. Faz and Awkward using both the Transcendences as well to keep each other in the fight.
Indeed they will, but it is currently phase 2 have the control on the point. Faye's going to try and make a insertion here, but Nishik and King's already down!
What a grab! Mystic finds 2 as Pipamitsu just sets them up, and the rest of the team just knock them dead. That will be Triumph taking the W on well.
Oh, what a turnaround from Triumph in that final fight. It was such a... Well, it was a mess, Jaws. It was a mess, but luckily, just as everyone got caught in the phase 2 grab, we did see Matman come out of Primal Rage, so his cooldown was back and available. Here's that grab you called out, was so effective. No one has the chance to eat that. And yesterday, Pika was sort of like a star when it came to eating these grabs. I think he got maybe 5 or 6 over the course of phase 2 series against Skyfoxes.
That's some juicy stat cards right there. 7.5k healing by Awkward, by the way. That's just Transcendence healing. And then an additional 18.5 as well. So regular heals. It's pretty spectacular. Pretty spectacular.
Triumph here seem to be coming from behind to try and make their map wins known. And this is actually their first map win of the tournament, so congratulations to Triumph. We'll have to see if they can keep up the momentum here. This appears it's going to be nail-bitingly close. All 3 of those seem to basically go 99 to 99.
Yeah, I mean, the flip over in the first one, that was really phase 2 taking control completely. I gotta say, both Xayah's doing just a fantastic job, not only building grabs, but their positional placement as well. It feels like a lot of people have learned from yesterday. It's like, okay, we need to wait for Defense Matrix to run out, and then we're okay.
That's got a 2-second cooldown now? Wow,
exactly.
That makes it very easy to hit these.
You see those lines disappear, and then you can hit the Q key, and Pika's like, please, just... stop paying attention to me. I need to eat more. And that's what they could have done to save it. But unfortunately, at the end, you know, just lined them up for Mystic. Easy kill.
Please stop paying attention to me. I need to eat more Harry and any all-you-can-eat buffet.
Phase 2, after losing that first map, though, will choose King's Row. Too much of a surprise. After, like, the first day, not too much of a surprise. Everybody seems to favor King's Row. There's a lot of stuff you can run on it. We've seen a little bit of Junkrat defense, a little bit of Mercy damage boost and the Ashe on the defense as well.
Yeah, we'd like to see the Ashe. We would like to see the Bob as well. Bob is actually incredibly effective on this point. You usually can see where Ashe is going to be most effective to defend a point if the point is bordered on one side by a wall, or by some solid object rather than being a central point which doesn't really have any walls around it, like let's say maybe Temple of Anubis. But the thing is, if you can run Bob into a wall, Temple of Anubis wasn't right.
Yeah, I was like,
I was trying to think of a point, but I think they're mostly bordered by walls. But if you can get a good angle as a defender to throw Bob towards a wall of a point, it does mean he will stay on a point and keep it contested. Whereas,
yeah, it's kind of frustrating.
When you think about an objective like a payload, that's constantly moving, and it's much harder to keep Bob there to contest it unless you're defending and you try to throw him on there to make sure that he stays in the path of it. But if you're attacking, it will move away from him and he'll like lose effectiveness over time.
Yeah, especially defending with Bob is just honestly a lifesaver sometimes. It's like, I've got Bob, it's okay. You send him in. He stands on the point, contesting for the entire time, and then your team is up on the high ground, and then you're like, well, gotta kill Bob, man. He's 1,000 plus HP, and maybe he has Harmony Orb bombers as well. The quickest way to take him down, you either hack him, you sleep him, but if you sleep him, he then wakes up nearer the end of his channel time, and then
Bob's doing something.
He's also shooting you back. So quickest way is just shooting him a few times with a Discord Orb on him, but he's still a massive health pool you have to get through.
Yeah, he's a massive pain. Even when he is hacked or slept, he does still remain contesting like all other heroes do. So it's a priority to remove that 12,000, 1,200 HP.
12,000 HP.
Yeah, man.
Bob is OP.
You can do crazy things in custom games.
I've seen Bob get beat before, and it is the most terrifying thing in the world, honestly. I've never seen something.
What would that be? 1,950 HP?
It's dumb.
And he can also get nano boosted. So
he can get nano boosted too.
Like if he gets beat and nano boosted, that's an effective health pool of 3,900.
One of my favorite things to do with Ashe, actually, or Bob, I should say, is especially on maps like Hanamura, where there is normally high ground to contest on the point where the defenders like to play around or could be playing around, is if you plant yourself at the doors to the point on Hanamura on offense, you just send Bob down, and then if there's no sleep dart or anything, or you get a call that the sleep dart's gone, or there's no Sombra, etc., you can just get Bob to just sit on the point and then contest. Then you can just jump high ground, and then from there, the team then has to make it. The enemy team has to make a decision. If they don't all rotate together, someone's going to have to contest Bob on the point. It's honestly the most frustrating thing in the world when it's used against you, because your team is never obviously on the same page in solo queue, right? And then you're also dealing with Bob, and then there's like 6 people jumping at your face on the high ground. It's not a very nice situation. I don't think we're going to see Bob now. Phase 2 running out with just a standard 3-3 on defense, although it is going to be Moira instead of Zenyatta.
Dude, it is. We did talk a lot about Ashe, but it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing it this time. Phase 2 on their defense, like you said, 3-3, but they are going to be running with a Moira, which is interesting. No longer going to be playing alongside that Zenyatta, so you can get the additional damage onto the enemy main tank. Instead, they're worried for Phase 2 are going to be showing off a little bit of DPS play. And well, Triumph here, coming out with that DPS, could actually just go back and change to Zenyatta 3-3 composition, because they never have the advantage in terms of how to play against the enemy main tank. Moopy is going to be in huge danger compared to Matman.
Yeah, easy clap. All you need to do is just Discord Mopey now, and you're pretty much donezo. There's the cleanse from the orb. Faz actually doing a good job of booping Matman in. Everybody just ignored him completely, lost no HP in that engagement. Moopy's shield going extremely low, having to back off and just regain it for the time being.
Not actually a fan of how they're taking so long to make this fight work. They need to run in, basically 6-man dogpile onto one person with the additional healing. There's so much shield pressure that will come out from Zenyatta compared to Nishik.
That clutch health armor pad being used by Moopy there to actually keep him alive from King. The Coalescence is going to be the first ult of the fight, as well as that Shatter. It only lands on one as he does land to the face to the ground. Onyx is going to claim the kill, and with that, they end up killing Mystic as well, who was isolated, didn't want to use those thrusters to move through the Coalescence, and they end that fight quick sharp.
And this is the way you need to play the Moira 3-3 when you're faced with a Zen. You're at an inherent disadvantage because of how much shield break Zenyatta brings to the table with those Orbs of Destruction, and the Discord Orb does so much damage to your tanks. You need to basically dogpile all 6 per people on Zenyatta or on Zai. You've got to get that early pick because you have the healing to stay alive for a very dangerous attack.
That's a fast Transcendence being built up from Awkward. He's used it to keep the rest of his team alive. A grab gets sent in, but Pika says thank you very much, Pivamitsu. I'll just have that one for breakfast. A beat will get thrown out by Faz as he connects it with the top of the tree. They do need to do something now because Triumph are just going to be able to walk towards him with that Zen. The self-destruct gets launched into the air and everybody manages to stay alive. A beautiful shatter coming out from Mopi, but he just gets sent to the ground as well.
the shield bash from Fading. There was no follow-up. The Coalescence just too little too late for Nishik, who's still trying to contest the point. Thing is in the back line as Matt actually just gets soloed out. That rally actually working extraordinarily well for phase 2 as they are still contesting.
Moopy has returned. They haven't got the second tick yet on the side of Triumph. They do have the combination should it be required. They will let loose with a self-destruct.
On the point does kill off Moopy's shield, but the rest of them do survive, hiding behind it. Faye ends up going down. She was pinned to the wall as Moopy was able to just dislodge her position in his backline. They do go for a small regroup here on the side of Triumph. They have 1 minute and 29 seconds remaining, Harry, as we do quickly jump into every board.
See, phase 2 there, I'm not a fan of how they utilized their first sound barrier from Faz. They actually laid down the sound barrier, and then we saw Moopy go for a full disengage. Like, he needed a little bit of extra healing, potentially, to stay alive, but basically it meant that they used their sound barrier and then stared menacingly at Triumph, who were on the point. And that allowed Triumph to get a lot of free capture percentage, and also meant that phase 2 had no use out of that sound barrier. And then Izzy could counterattack with a sound barrier when Triumph actually decided, hey, we've got all these shields, we should probably press W. And yeah.
We've got a small problem with just voice comms. We shouldn't be too long, guys.
Actually, the players are having trouble with Discord as well.
Yeah.
So, something's going on with Discord at the moment?
It's not
Mumble anyone?
Oh boy. Or raid call, which is not a thing anymore. I used that for a while back in the day.
There
we go.
I never used raid call. Oh well. Onyx still has a lot of his charge here, but so does Mitsu. Both of them surviving that fight didn't mean they could maintain their charge, and of course they're both going to be trying to build up towards this Graviton Surges. Izzy got incredibly aggressive there, trying to get an early boop onto Moopy.
What a shatter! That's 3 people on the floor, but Faz comes in with a clutch sound barrier to keep them alive for the time. But right now, Triumph is sitting at a support ult advantage, plus they got a grab coming up extremely soon. There's no support ult to really delay this from phase 2. The grab comes out. 3 people are locked in place. King is just gets deleted. Faz and Mopi are going to follow them. Onyx also. But Triumph finally make this stand on the first point as they clean the rest of phase 2 up.
Man there, what a hero, man. Not only did he take 3 people down, he took a Thorf down in the back, and that was Nishik, who just started channeling Coalescence. So he instantly cancelled that ultimate, got rid of all of that potential damage come through the shield, all of the potential healing that would be applied to a Reinhardt in the duel if they were both being hit by the Coalescence. So that's such a huge boon to a Reinhardt to have that Coalescence behind them, even if they are lacking in terms of how much damage can be done without that Discord orb. But Matman there really bringing matters into his own hands, and now Triumph have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to try and go through second.
That was a long-range grab. It managed to catch the Lucio. Matman jumps in for the rescue. Double interrupts on the Shadow 2 as that self-destruct is launched to the back line and blocked off by Matman's shield. Izzy comes in with a sound barrier as well, as Triumph still have Mystic's own self-destruct. That was a lot of ults burned by phase 2 as they do scurry for second.
Faz was still alive though, so the second Izzy drops the barrier, it's for disengage from Faz. Moopy now going to be standing in the way of the car. They're going in onto a Brigida, won't be able to select the kill, however, Faye's so low, they need to be able to move in on him, Jaws.
Moopy, got to be a little bit more careful than that. The charge to try and get rid of the shields, but Onyx soaks up all of that damage with his own personal barrier. Faz does manage to take out Matman, but in the back line, Awkward manages to snipe away Nishik. So support for support, but with Lucio, you're able to speed on forward, and phase 2 are going to force Triumph away for the time being.
Perhaps solid decision making there from phase 2 to not chase down Faye in that corner. They knew there was a potential that Mystic was going to throw the self-destruct into the back line. They wanted Onyx to be in a position where he could block out so much of that angle when it comes to the area of effect with his own personal barrier. That was some great team-saving play from the Zarya.
Now they're just trying to build ultimates as fast as they can. Matman gets stunned, but again, once more, Orca comes in with the clutch Transcendence. Didn't end up going down, but with Nishik activating his Transcendence a couple of seconds later, they do have healing advantage, so we're able to use that, move on forward with the speed boost from the Lucio, and clean up the rest of Triumph.
And phase 2 here are doing a great job of forcing out support ultimate so that they can activate theirs slightly later and have that advantage later into the fight when it begins to break down, when people begin to get weak and you can start getting those pickoffs. That's when those support ultimates have their most advantage, because they're turning around a fight more so than before.
50 seconds remains in the time bank for Triumph. They haven't quite got it yet past the streets. Extremely close. They are, however. Onyx does have the Graviton Surge. They haven't really got anything to deal with it. There's the self-destruct launch straight over the veranda. Faye gets stunned and killed. Didn't even need the self-destruct in the end as Matman falls as well. Triumph have one more push to make it stick, but phase 2 looking towards a shatter and a sound barrier for the next engagement.
Well, if Triumph continue their motif, they're now going to run it all the way to the end in overtime. But looking at the resources available, Jaws, I don't know if it's going to work. We're going to have Shadow for Shadow. Mopi's about one fire strike away from being able to answer this out, and Faz will be able to stay up in the air to stop himself from being hit by that Earth Shadow. He can lay down the sound barrier to save everyone on this team. Maybe if they can force that out, Izzy can have a later sound barrier and potentially force everyone forward.
Well, there's the OT. Matman has the Shadow, so does Mopi now as the beat comes out. 2 beats, in fact, as the self-destruct is layered on with that Graviton Surge. Mopi gets booped out the way, but still manages to protect himself. Matman with a huge Shadow, though, sends 2 to the floor. He ends up getting stunned in the back line, so he can't do as much damage. A Graviton Surge now from Onyx as they just collect everybody up on top of that cart. Mopi's going to be the first to fall in the hectic fight as Triumph take the man advantage now. Matman is going to be the target of their aggression, but they just cannot break through his shield. There is too much damage now coming out from Triumph. They should be able to push it on, but phase 2 still have another couple of fights. Triumph need to get it all the way to second. They're so far away.
Everyone invested everything in this fight, but the combination just wasn't ready for phase 2. They got a little bit trigger happy with the Graviton Surge. He can make a win it out here, and now Matman's been able to build himself up a second Shatter. He can get incredibly aggressive here. He and Izzy may well try to combine for a boop Shatter here, or Faye can come in from the back. You can see that he's going over now to that mini health pack. Wants to try and make the rotation around, come in onto Mopi behind, get what he needs, and potentially facilitate the Shatter, but he gets caught out.
Another engagement in overtime is good for Matman, though. He hits another 3-man Shatter. Onyx goes down. Faye as well, who was actually in the back line of phase 2, trying to cause some disruption. Another minute and 30 seconds have been added to Triumph's time bank. They are now in the factory. This is where phase 2 are going to make their final stand.
Well, I told you the motifs, Jaws. Triumph always come through in overtime, apparently. Phase 2 are likely going to win the next fight, and then Triumph take it all the way in overtime again, if I'm just going to have a little prediction here. But look at the ultimates that would come through. We are going to have to see Pibamitsu use this Graviton incredibly effectively, but Pika's been known to eat these. Not this one, though.
There's the grab, self-destruct planted on top of the card. Transcendence used just in case, but Mystic gets him with a triple kill again. After the boot comes up, deleting that shield. Perfect control from Izzy to win out that fight. They got 50 seconds remaining, but look at the ults they have as well.
Throw them to the wind and then turn them into dust. That's for Triumph MO right now. They've got 3 ultimates ready to go. They've got all the survivability they could ask for. They have the Transcendence advantage over Nishik. But Pika can try and make this happen. He's got the clutch potential for the self-destruct to combine with its Onyx and the Graviton Surge. No one can be allowed to eat a Graviton right now. No! Straight into the defense matrix!
He eats it. Onyx's grab gets deleted. There comes the beat and the Transcendence for the side of Triumph as they do march on forward to the end. Pika threw his mate self-destruct in, but caught absolutely nobody. Nishik is going to be the first casualty of phase 2. Matman is soon to follow as they do trade up 1-for-1. Izzy is in the backline, just getting surrounded by the supports. Gets stunned up, but is still not dead somehow. They're only 2 meters away, and this is still an OT.
Is he trying to keep this in contestation? Down comes the self-destruct, but Mopi's going to shield that one all up. Mystic's going to get the remake, Jaws.
Oh, Mopi with the Shatter as well to end it all. Mystic didn't stand a chance. Faye is in the back line, gets taken out in the end. OT ticks through, and Triumph aren't quite able to land that 3rd cap.
It's Onyx lays down yet another Graviton Surge. Like, look, guys, I had it the entire time. I don't understand how with the changes to Diva, you can throw that into a defense matrix. He was literally looking right at Mystic, who had the defense matrix up, and like, okay, now we can hit the... No, wait, never mind. It was it was interesting, but still, we did see phase 2 eventually, for want of a better word, triumph in that final fight. We had a couple of clutch plays, and I felt like Mopi really did pull his weight there.
Well, clear win condition now set for phase 2. Remember, Triumph are 1-0 up in the series currently after taking Eos. Very, very close was it, however. Same with phase 2. The OT Warriors in Triumph do not quite make it to that 3rd capture point, meaning there won't be additional rounds after this one.
No additional rounds. It will all end in this round, whether we like it or not. Will phase 2 be able to tie it up here? or will Triumph claim their second win of Trials? This is where, in our second day, we start to get a slightly clearer picture of where these teams begin to stack up against each other. Of course, we won't have that clearer picture until about halfway through our second weekend, but for now, it seems like Phase 2, they are pretty consistently effective, but it seems like in the clutch moment, sometimes Triumph do come out on top. There's more potential for these huge individual plays on the side of Triumph, especially from Matman. I feel like this guy's such a talented tank, and I didn't expect him to be the starting tank compared to Sheroshoy, but he's definitely shown me that he's earned that spot.
Both running out with 3-3. No Moira this time. You cannot trick Triumph on the defense. They know there's such a long way back to Spawn to change over to that. They got the Zen instead, and same with Phase 2, who run out with Nishik.
Well, Matman's going to be warded away with that whip shot. Faz trying to stay up on top of this statue at the moment, but the second he gets afflicted with the Discord Orb, he has to run. Can't afford to get himself picked because Moopy's going to need that speed to disengage or engage onto Matman. What a
that Moop as well. He didn't even touch the floor before he died, Harry. Onyx finds the melee kill and ends up killing out Pibamitsu as well. A perfect control over Matman's positioning. Boop after boop ends him, going all the way back to Spawn. It's a very, very quick first point take from Phase 2.
Faz there definitely made the riskiest play, diving into the midst of the enemy team to push Matman forward into Phase 2, but it did actually work out. Some great understanding and great communication there. It must have been some talented shot calling from the Lucio to prepare everyone to act upon that clutch play.
Now we're going to go for a re-engage, of course. Why not? You are playing 3-3, of course. You might as well hold at this small choke point. Onyx has the Graviton Surge coming online, though. Pibamitsu is about 30% behind now. Only just creeping on the 70% mark. Lucio's having a small duel on the top side as well. Izzy and Faz trying to boop each other away.
Well, we're going to have control of a choke right here. Going to force Phase 2 to move on through there. They do have a rally to make that happen. Down goes the Shadow, but no one hits the ground, Jaws.
Oh, the Graviton Surge is good, though. There's a self-destruct. Oh, no, the shield's been removed completely. Pika finds Matman and Pibamitsu. There's no way you're surviving that one. That'll be Phase 2 winning that initial engagement and now moving through the streets of London.
See, Pika there was actually trying to guarantee the kill by just running inside Matman's shield with a Bunny Blaster while he was in the small diva form of a self-destruct was going off, because he knew that Matman would be forced to hold up the shield, couldn't actually swing into him, and given how close the models were in the Graviton Surge, it was unlikely the remainder of Triumph could see the small Pika model.
Well, Matman does have a Shadow. Maybe his will connect a little bit more, a little bit better than it did last time around. Mystic still has that self-destruct as well. They have the Giganti combo in the Graviton Surge also. There's the grab mixed in with a self-destruct as well. On top of the car, shield's been removed. Faz is hiding behind the payload though when the rest of Phase 2 were able to scurry for cover. Mopi did get removed, however, by Matman's charge, and Faz did as well off of the payload. 4 minutes still remain for Phase 2 on this initial assault.
And Triumph there really managed to win because they messed up Phase 2's tempo. They were trying to get King to go through high ground, jump down behind Matman, hit that shield bash so that Moopy could get a clean shadow. But we actually saw both Faye have the mutual stun onto King and a shield onto Matman so that the stun wouldn't come through. Some great responses from Triumph.
Nice positioning there coming through from Matman on the side. Did manage to get the shadow on a few people in the back line. However, an even better shadow came out from Mopi. Able to connect with 2 people, plus the charge as well. Dudens managed to... Oh, well, Matman almost managed to get the charge out to safety, picking up the D along his wake, but Pika a little bit more smart to that. The rest of his team came up to back him up. 2 shadows used, and that will be the cap for Phase 2.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Triumph are going to be able to get here to defend. And now 4 minutes and 41 seconds stand between Phase 2 and evening up the series. They need to go 68.67 meters, almost delightfully palindromic, but missed out by 1. You can see right now, Faz going up above is going to be able to answer
grab,
his
self-destruct as well. The Transcendence ain't going to help you now, buddy. That's a nice shield slam, but it connected with the wrong person. A shadow hits 3 people in the front line as Matman was all the way in their own back line. Izzy died with a beat, also not able to lay it down to potentially save the team. Triumph have potentially 1 fight now, Harry, for them to hold on to this map.
Matman went aggressive though, means he's got the shadow ready to go. You've got to keep your eye on King. Will he be able to interrupt the shadow is the question. Will Pibamitsu be able to hold on to the barrier he needs to protect Matman over the course of the channel? He's already been given the Discord Orb. He's going to have to cleanse that away from himself and move in to contest the car.
Baz tries to get a big boot, but Pibimitsu already goes down. He was so close to a grab as well. That self-destruct mixed with the shadows. Perfect from Mystic, though. 2 kills already, but phase 2 are biting back. Awkward's going to fall, and so is Matman, as the beat from Izzy is way too late, only landing on 2 people, as phase 2 are going to go towards that golden box of victory. Triumph do have the spawn priority, however, and phase 2 playing a little bit more cautiously now, as Onyx, using that personal barrier, is just backing off ever so slightly.
Onyx will get out alive, and Awkward's going to return on the Wrecking Ball, going to try and use those cannons and the grappling hook to displace everyone here. It is also playing forward, using the boots to make sure no one can get where they want to go, but Awkward now, that's a feed, my dude.
Mopi also has the shadow, and Pika has the self-destruct. This is almost too perfect. Mystic goes down. The self-destruct landed on top of the grab. Is it going to be enough? Of course it is, as Matman gets killed off. The mech from Mystic gone as well. Awkward joins back the rest of his team, manages to find a boot, but held in place with Onyx's grab. That's phase 2, moving towards that box as Izzy comes in for the final touch, but just gets killed off. That'll be phase 2 completing and tying the series up 1-1.
I feel like the entire control of that round went phase 2's way because, like you pointed out during a play-by-play, Izzy's sound barrier was way too late. In that final fight, he had it available for the entirety of that. He could have used it to save Matman, potentially, when all of that aggression was occurring, but he waited until it was only himself and Mystic who were on the point. You didn't really get as much efficacy out of that as you'd like. Sound barrier on 2 people is not worth it, and basically was forced to make that choice. He was forced to make the not worth sound barrier because otherwise he was just going to be holding on to it for map 3.
Especially near the end, he was on the high ground too. He could have laid it down on the high ground and it spread to everybody on top of the point, but he waited just a fraction too late, ended the map basically because it only caught Mystic. 1 apiece now for both phase 2 and Triumph. Kings Row was obviously the map pick of phase 2. Now that will go over to Triumph's choice.
It did seem like Triumph wanted to get away with only using the Earth Shatter and the self-destruct, of course, but that was essentially their last fight, and by not investing the sound barrier when it looked like phase 2 weren't all going to die to that, they gave away control to phase 2, who could begin rolling in with their own ultimates and maintain control of the point, even though Triumph were respawning a lot more quickly. Phase 2 just didn't lose enough to stymie that momentum.
Use those sound barriers early, man. Got to use them early in the start. Well, not necessarily the start of the fight, but
it's tough decision making.
It is. But you are very, very close to the ending point. It's just unfortunate. It's just unlucky. Just how it goes over this map, but it was a very close map regardless of how you look at it. Now, obviously, it is the choice of Triumph to pick up the next one. We'll see where they want to go. Kings Row was the choice of phase 2. I can kind of see why now. Seems like they've had a whole wealth of practice on this specific map. Boskaya will be the map choice, however, coming